Did it work? It sure did. All right. Give me just a second here. Cool. Got a few different angles set up here. So we got over the stove. We have this here. And let me try to angle this a little bit better. Maybe it's more this way. Is that it? Oh, perfect. All right. This is a handful of ingredients. Don't mind the battery. That's not an ingredient. Um, and I'm just gonna do a couple things real quick, just make sure that it's fully set up. And oh, you know what? I definitely need to post this real quick. All right. So a few things we have set up here. Um, Maybe not that look. There we go. Hey, who just joined? Ah, love it. Well, let me show you around real quick. If everyone's joined in. So I'm rocking the new headband. I got the apparel on. Everyone knows that, you know, a real chef is only made by his clothes and headband. Um, I am. I am live. It's weird. All right, check it out. I'm gonna show you this. All these fun ingredients. I have all these Discord chats going on in my ear. Cool. You guys ready for to hear what we got going on? Okay. All right. So we're gonna do a pan-seared salmon fillets. We're gonna have for sides roasted Brussels sprouts, and potatoes. We're gonna use some mushrooms. These are baby bellas. Let me show you these here. Baby bellas here. We'll clean these, cut those up. That's gonna go into the wild rice mixture. Brussels sprouts. We'll get those all cleaned, cut, chopped. Same thing with the potatoes. Already did a little bit of pre-washing here with that. Um, Troy, good question. You're asking the history of where this meal comes from. So back in ancient Greece, um, this was one of those meals that everyone ate. End of history. Okay. It is a little warm right now, so I'm just gonna open this cold beverage just real quick. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Kyle. You were going to say something? This is just a bottled apple juice. All right. You guys can't see it, but it's there. Okay. All right. So the first thing we're going to do here is we actually have a little rice cooker that's going on over here. And if you don't have a rice cooker, I mean, it's the easiest thing you can get. We're going to add, for the rice, about 1.25 cups of water with some chicken stock. All right. Ooh. I love cooking my rice and chicken stock. That's one of my favorite things. I was saying this earlier in the stream. If you didn't hear me, this is for Kyle. Yeah, the clothes is what makes the chef. I mean, it's everyone knows that worldwide phenomenon. That's just fact. Yeah. So, all right, let's go ahead and switch back over to this table real quick. I have this wild rice here. Just you can do whatever kind of rice, white rice. I have this in the pantry, so this is what I'm going to use. But before we dump that into the rice cooker, I have these beautiful baby Bellas. They're fat, big old chonkers. So I'm just gonna wipe those down. You don't want to soak them because they will absorb quite a bit of water. So we're gonna take these and just clean them, and they're gonna be dirty. Oh, we like them dirty. Mm. Just clean them up a bit. So what's gonna happen is I'm actually gonna cook these in with the rice, and I'm using a rice cooker. I used to, before I can afford a rice cooker, I would just use the stove, pot and stove. Um, Rice cookers are relatively cheap. If you ever have the opportunity, just buy you one. I think the one that's up on the counter over here was like $15, and that's it. Okay, so just gonna yeah. It works well. Nice rice cooker just to set it and forget it. So with this wild rice, the water to rice ratio is you're doing 1 cup of wild rice and 1 3/4 of water. I was saying earlier that I like to do it in a chicken stock, and so I have what's called Better Than Bouillon. It's just a chicken stock concentrate, and so I'll let that kind of break down a bit before I start adding everything else in, and it just gives it a nice, good flavor. Just a little bit of chicken stock in there. I generally just do 1 tablespoon and then throw that in there, and it's good. All right, let's see. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually not going to use any of the stems. And tell me if you guys can see this okay. I can move things around if needed. I hope you guys are enjoying this. This is fun for me, and I really like doing this for you guys. All right, cool. And these can be composted, so these will just go right in the compost. Just the stems. I don't use them. Some people do. There's nothing wrong with them. I just so just I have a new knife, and this is mushrooms aren't hard to cut, but boy, this is nice. I forget what this type of knife is called. I think it's called a kiri or something like that. Definitely butchered the name. That's not how you pronounce it, but it's something close to that. All right. Yeah, so these divots in here are really just for decoration. Yeah, you'll see other knives that actually have the grooves right in here. And actually, I'll pull one out so you can see. It's one of my chef knives. It's not mine, it's my girlfriend's, but so it has those divots, and yeah, it does create a little bit of an air pocket in there, and things just slide right off. It's kind of nice. This is, yeah. All right. Uh, yeah, there's always going to be because of the latency between Discord and probably. Mm. Yeah, I mean, do what you want. I mean, if you want, yeah. Okay, so that might look like a ton of mushrooms because it is. Oh, I'm glad that someone said something. Tons of mushrooms, but the mushrooms are what we want. Okay, so that what I was looking at just a little while ago here is the stock, just making sure that it's nice and stirred a bit. We're gonna throw. Troy Taylor, this is just for you. This whole stream. Last week was for Kyle, but this one's for you. All right. So you can see this is just thick with it, thick with those mushrooms. I'm going to add in the wild rice. And I rinsed the rice beforehand, nice cool water for a couple minutes, 1-2 minutes. That just gets any of that starchy debris out or any other type of contaminants. Oh, yeah. Wild rice. This is wild rice that's going into this thing. Water and broth. I threw the mushrooms in there as well. The mushrooms, yeah, the mushrooms going to be there for a little bit of extra flavor. I love it that way. All right, so this is good. We don't have to do anything else. We're just going to set this aside, close the lid, done. All right, and then what we're going to do here is I'm probably going to save the rest of these for another adventure. Maybe tomorrow morning's omelet. I'm going to rinse in my bowl here. I think the last time some of you guys were on, I was telling you, like, there's tons of water going to be on in the background because it's easy just to wash some of the stuff as I go. I honestly, it's just because I don't like having to clean up a huge mess later. The dirt hitting the pavement. All right. You're in a treat, dude. I just dudes and dudettes. I had to sand this earlier today because it was just looking super rough. I've had this table for 3-4 years. Oh, this cutting board, yeah, you know. Okay, so mushrooms. That's all we're gonna use. These will go back in the fridge, and then what I like to do is go through some of these here. This is just some Brussels sprouts. We're gonna figure out which ones we want to use, how clean they're going to be. Some of this is going to be a little bit more work than others. Perfect. Start with some of these large ones. Cut and peel. Look at that. Brussels sprouts. I used to hate Brussels sprouts as a kid. Like, they're the most disgusting thing to me. I don't know about you guys, but I'd like to hear an interesting fact about Brussels sprouts. I'm going to repeat that on stream. Okay, so Troy just said on Discord that Brussels sprouts were bred to be sweeter, and that's why they taste so much better than when we were kids. I believe that that's like a right something like that with bananas as well. Like there's something bananas are just completely different than the bananas. Yeah. I'm not saying that I didn't like bananas, but that they're very different than what bananas were once. Look at those. This looks so nice. This is fun. Yeah, this is just really a cheap knife from online, but thought it'd be fun. Just a little show quality going into the stream. Most of the time, I'll sharpen my own knives, just on the steel, unless it needs to go to the stone. If it goes to the stone, it's a little bit different. Knife sharpening mail service. I have not heard about the knife sharpening mail service. I can just send my knives in and oh, not bad, not bad. That's nice if you definitely have get a sponsor for. Well, there's a lot of like where I live, a lot of local smaller business owners. Yeah, tons of smaller business owners that do pickups or they'll drive to your house or whatever, drop them off. And that's the nice thing here in California is we have like everything. Okay, so that's the next little set of items that's going to go straight to the sink. The insides are exposed a bit. All right. Okay. It's going straight over to the sink. Sink cam, so you guys can see everything that goes in the sink. Is that what people want? Just sinking it up. Cut off those stems, throw them in the sink, wash them. Ooh, no soap. The hand motion. No, no vegetable soap. It just warm water does fine. All right, I didn't get to treat you guys to washing the potatoes because I washed those a little bit earlier, so I apologize about that. Just gonna give this board a little bit of a rinse. I'm excited for later in the stream when we get to cut up just some fillets here. I couldn't find a whole fish to cut up that I wanted to use, so we're just doing a salmon fillet, and I'm just going to cut that up into smaller portions. Okay, done with that. Brussels sprouts. All right. So, like I said, I did the same thing with potatoes earlier, but I'm gonna clean some of these up. Just a nice little medley mix here. These are my favorite, these little purple potatoes. This knife does really well. It's nice and sharp. Factory sharpened. Let's find some more color. Ooh. I can smell the rice and mushrooms over there. Yeah. I hope you guys appreciate my setup. I tried to do a little bit more lighting. Try to do a little bit more lighting around here, just so that way it picks up everything nice and vibrantly. Alrighty. Okay. Stepping on some potato peels over here. I was going to we're gonna preheat the oven here. And for anyone who's gonna be following along later, I'm just preheating it up to 400. Baking sheet. We're gonna place these just on here, chop side up. Ooh. I'm already getting super excited about this. You guys know I like to cook. Brussels sprouts. Ooh, look at this. I love how that looks. Oh, you guys can't see anything because I'm not on the top down. All right. Now that the screen's corrected a bit, you'll be able to see what I got going on over here. I'm just plating down those potatoes and Brussels sprouts. How's it going? Do you need some help? I need to get something. Do you want to crawl into the table, or would you like me to get you something? You okay? That down there. What are you looking for? Okay, here you go. All right. Steaming, that's going. Mushrooms, rice, that's going to be wonderful. I'm happy about that. It already smells good. We have. Uh, can you look at this table and look at all the fun colors on there? Some fall colors, maybe, kind of. Mm, mm, a little bit, yeah. So we're gonna do a couple things here. Um, Rosemary, thyme. That that's gonna get spread over both items there. But what I like to do here is instead of taking the stem and cracking it over everything, I'll just take the aromatic parts. Okay. Oh, no, this has been fun so far. I'm surprised my friend Toshiro's not watching. Sure hope he helps on soon. All right, so chop that up with everything. This is where I wish like smell-o-vision existed. Oh my gosh, this would be amazing. All right, I need to look for some olive oil. It's one step I kind of forgot. Uh, I know I have some around here. So let me just figure out where I put it. It's not in there. Oh, I have to move this around. Forget it. Big old jug of olive oil. I just want to transfer it in a little bit of jar. It makes it a little bit easier for pouring. I usually have like a little bottle with a nice little spout on there. I think on the last stream you can see it. Okay, let me see. I'm also, for this top-down view, I'm using my cell phone, so I just got to double check periodically that it's not overheating. Should be fine. And then once this goes in the oven, this is either going to char up a little bit or just get nice and soft. I don't eat raw Brussels sprouts, but I'm sure there's tons of people who do. Fucking weirdos. I bet you Troy Taylor does. I bet you that guy does too. Okay, so here's that nice little mix of the herbs. And you can do like dried herbs. This is fine. I just decided to do fresh herbs because I was trying out that Amazon Fresh, where they just deliver stuff to your door, and it was fairly cheap for some organic um, herbs. It's like a dollar for a bunch of this, and $1 for a bunch of that. Yeah, so I dig it. Woo. All right, One other thing, I need my pepper. I mean, it's only going to look more delicious as the night goes on. Fresh cracked pepper, just over everything. Oh, crush the pepper with my bare hands. Is that what you all want to see? Look, this is my favorite. This is Maldon. This is Maldon sea salt. It's awesome. It has these super flaky. A lot of times you'll use this just for like finishing. So you can see that there. It's more of a finishing salt, but love the taste. Love sometimes that little bit of crunch. Let me just show you what the package looks like. Pretty cool. It's good product. Any kind of salt will do. Doesn't have to be this fancy Maldon sea salt, but I like the way it just crumbles under my fingers. Throw a little bit on everything. Yeah, I mean, it's worth having, the Maldon. I could be pronouncing it wrong, but on my stream, I'm pronouncing it right, just so you all know. Yeah, Maldon. There we go. Okay, beautiful. Good. It's another nice little set there. Now, I just want to show you guys one more time, like, how cool this is. A little kitchen outfit. So I don't get everything underneath all dirty. Genius. All right, let's head back down. How's the camera angles for you guys? It's looking okay? Good. That's what I like to hear. Try to get a little bit more of this in view for you. We're going to work on a few things here. We're going to prep some of the stuff for the salmon, and also the rest of the garlic that we need for the Brussels sprouts and the potatoes. Salmon, I can eat salmon so often. It's like salmon and rice are the easiest things to cook and eat, for me at least. Just love it. Kyle, did you say you like the little tiny bones inside the fish? Oh, you don't? Yeah, I don't really know of anyone who does that likes the little bones in salmon or fish in general. I will say this though, like sardines, when I'll make a when I'll just do sardines over rice, it's a quick, easy little something to eat. They have bones in them, but they're so soft that it doesn't bother you. If you're real sensitive, then sure, maybe it does, but you gotta be a big baby if you don't like it. Real big baby. Let's get back to it. So this knife is super heavy though on the hilt. We'll peel these here in a second. just make things a little bit easier for myself. What I'm doing is I'm just chopping off just the bottom part, like you'll see right here, just where it connects at the bottom. Won't hurt you to use it. I don't like the way it looks. Okay. I have this little robot that eats all my scraps and trash. It's kind of cool. All right, that means that the oven is preheated. That's perfect, perfect timing. So when we throw this in, we're probably only going to throw that in for maybe 20 minutes. I mean, it can go longer, but what ends up happening is the Brussels sprouts will start to dry out, the potatoes start to shrivel up a little bit. I like it where the potatoes are they're creamy and soft and not dry and crumbly, if that makes any sense. You can see this sucker. Clean that one up. Let me know if my big head gets in the way. Can't see it in that shot. That's good. It means it's shrunk a little bit. Perfect. Focus on the food, not my good looks. I don't want the audience too distracted with how beautiful I look. And it's funny because I was born this way. This is, no plastic surgery, nothing. Like, it's just genetics. I would say luck has nothing to do with it, but I mean, sometimes you win the lotto. You just can't deny it. Okay. So there's going to be some stuff I don't want to use just because that looks like it was kind of rotten. Don't want to cook the earpiece. Let's see. Smashing that kind of helps out with pulling the skins off, or the shells, or whatever you call that, the leaves. All right. Feed this to the little robot. And then let me check one thing. Okay, it's a little warm in the kitchen, so do my best to stay a little cool. All right. Here's another fun little tool. I hate it because I don't like cleaning it, but it does this really fun thing. It just kind of grates it. or just, almost minces it. I guess mince would be the better word. It gives it that same minced quality. I'm using the back of the knife just because I don't want to ruin or have to resharpen this thing so quick, metal on metal. I'm sure the metal on this is stronger than that, so I don't know, maybe not. I just don't want to mess with it. Okay. All right. Nice little bit of garlic there. F in the chat for garlic. Just kidding. We love garlic. We love garlic. Bedford, I'm so glad. I'm so glad, I can rescue you from this despair. We'll do a protein shake stream one day. We'll stream protein shake recipes. We'll do it from scratch. We're gonna just blend up tons of liver and other stuff that has nothing to do with protein shakes. Okay. All right, I'm gonna sprinkle that garlic down on the potatoes, the Brussels sprouts, and then we're gonna prep some more stuff here in a second. So I'm gonna get rid of these potatoes. As beautiful as they look, I'm done with them. We're gonna take a little bit of this garlic, and it really would just be easier if I just tossed everything with this, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna get a little bit sloppy and just miss some pieces, but have it on others. Okay, so we got that. Just wash my hands for a second because they're just full of garlic. Washing your hands while cooking is 1000% okay to do. Don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. Because they probably, well, I don't want to tell you what they probably do, but I bet you can guess. You can guess what they do. All right. All right, we're going to throw a little bit of that in there. That's good. Everything in mise en place. Is that the term? Okay. Tell me how these look. Do those not look good enough just to eat right now? Get out of here. Get out of here. Sorry, little fly buzzing around. Gobble it up. Yeah, look, I mean, that's some decent veggies. You got some potatoes and some Brussels sprouts. We're just throwing this right in the oven here. Like I said, I had it at 400 degrees. 15 to 20 minutes. I think we'll probably be closer to 15. And now we're going to get into some fun stuff here. That's good. We're going to do a little bit of extra prep work for the good thing here. So what I want to do is switch back to this top down. Lay out some parchment paper. We have lots of this parchment paper. Okay. And then get ready. It's about to get wild. I feel like if anyone's trying to text me on my phone, I'm not answering it because it's being used as a camera right now. All right. Okay. Maybe you guys like watching me do all the fun, random stuff up here, like open up the fridge and all that. You guys want to peek in the fridge? Peek in the fridge. All kinds of different foods in there. Okay. Top down. What do we got? We got ourselves delicious, nutritious salmon fillet. I'm gonna flip this over here just a second. Yeah, so this is dinner for a few nights here. This is an Atlantic salmon fillet, so I'm getting excited because king salmon season's like, well, actually, I think king salmon's going on. Salmon runs are happening now, or I don't know. But king salmon is usually in season around this time. You'll get some really decent salmon. This is not king salmon. This is Atlantic salmon. So it's fairly mild compared to most other salmon, especially sockeye. Sockeye definitely has a different taste to it. Whiskey goes wonderful with salmon. So I'm going to cut the tail here. I'm going to cut another portion. And like I said, it's been scaled. I leave the skin on. Most places you can skin it if you want. It's not hard to do. It is a little bit harder to cut with the scales on it, so I always recommend just cutting those scales off. Or what you can do is you can actually take a knife and you go in the opposite direction of the scales themselves so you can see that. And it'll just pull them off. Yeah. It's very nice. All right. Rice and mushrooms still going strong. See the color changed, but we have a lot of dark rice in there. We have the mushrooms, so it'll be pretty good though. Here, move that back. All right. What I'll do with these is package this up. Fine. And then I can either vacuum seal this or this can go straight into the freezer just like that. Why don't I show you, for this, I'm going to cook these with the skin on. But I'm going to show you what it looks like to take the skin off. And in salmon, the bones are really easy to get out. You can actually purchase a little, like tweezers for salmon. Sometimes you'll buy these and the bones will already be taken out, but they're soft. Sometimes you'll eat these things and not notice them. But yeah, that should be one more. Yeah. And for those who don't remember, but I used to be a fishmonger as well. So it's kind of fun doing these small little things again. So there's also a little something that you can do with salmon. It's called a J cut. And what you do is you basically go in following that bone line and then you scoop just under because the bone goes like this. Oh, I'm sorry. I still have the wrong camera on there. Yeah. So you missed everything that I just did, and that was packaging up and cutting everything up. So that was just the gist of everything that just went happened. No, you didn't get to see me cut that big old fish up, I don't think. All right, so we're just pulling out some of those bones because I know I don't like eating them. Most people don't like eating them. I mean, throw it in the comments if you like eating fish bones. Like legit just fish bones. And I promise I won't call you a weirdo. Well, I mean, if you're going to use it for a fish broth, I mean, these little pin bones here, they're not going to add hardly anything to your broth. I would go for the head. The head is definitely something you want to keep in there. So the head, you would use that, split that head in half. The cheeks are going to have tons of fat, but those will be something that you'll want. Okay, so I got probably all the bones out of that. Those are what we're going to cook. I did want to show you though, it's not that hard to take the skin off of these fillets. You don't need to take the bones out to take the skin. I'm just doing that for future preparation. What I'll do is I'll slide my knife right here, right underneath, and you can do that on either end, belly end, and then this is just the top here. But I'll slide this in, and usually you'll do like use a boning knife because that'll work. But you can slide that right on down, and you see it just peels it away. Same thing, a boning knife. This is not a boning knife that I'm using. This is just a chef knife, but a boning knife would be a lot more flexible, and you would leave a lot less meat on there. So skin, take that off just like that. For anyone who just doesn't like the skin on their fillets. Yeah, so I'll cook with the skin on, but that's because I don't flip my fish over. And so I'll let it cook all the way through from one side, and there's such a nice fat layer on here that it just ends up falling right off. It'll probably stick to the pan realistically, um, but, yeah, I I enjoy it sometimes. Yeah, the trick to just taking that skin off though is just getting that knife as flat as possible, and then just gliding it right across. Should probably throw trigger warnings on this. Okay, into the robot this goes. All right, skin on fillets for tonight. It's these here. This here would be what an average portion would be. This is what you would probably see at a restaurant, or if you go to a grocery market, this is what you're buying here. Something around that side. And you can see the nice fat lines. This portion that I cut here is where the head would be, and this is just all belly right here. So this is why it's all nice and white. That's what's super fatty. All those omegas, fats and oils. Wash my hands real quick because things are getting a little bit slippery. Oh, I'm getting excited for the next steps. Like my favorite is just cooking the salmon. Right, the prep work is cool and all, but oh, the cooking it. And so everyone else who wants to follow along later as well, I'll post all the ingredients that I used, so that way if anyone wants to follow along and cook this, they can. I'm gonna actually vacuum seal these a little bit later, but in the meantime, so that way they stay nice and cold, I'm actually gonna just throw them in the fridge. Sorry, one more time. You want a beer? We don't have beers. This is on this stream. We just have bottled apple juice.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Bottled apple juice doesn't get you demonetized because it's just apple juice. Yeah, California's got so. Uh, Before I knew some stuff about like IPAs and beers and stuff, I really thought IPAs were this one thing. And then when I was working uh, for Whole Foods, I started learning a lot more about more of the beers. So like IPAs were going through a phase where it's like the more bitter, the better, the higher the alcohol, the better. And I kind of got over it, so I stuck with stouts and other stuff. I like IPAs again, just because there's a nice balance, different hops that are used. Um, the names of hops are amazing. Just the different varieties of hops. It's very much like I think about like cannabis, how there's different strains and genetics as well. The hops are pretty cool. So you have like mosaic. I don't know. There's just tons of different ones. I'm not even gonna act like I know all the different types of hops, but they all have different flavors. Some give you a real nice like um, fruity flavor. Some are like almost have like a stone fruit taste. Some are just super skunky, and that's where you get like those really skunky beers. Not like a lager, but you'll get some that almost have like that cannabis smell to it. It's really interesting. But where I was going with that was when I took my trip to New York, they had um, so West Coast IPAs and East Coast IPAs, very different in taste. But I went to the Brooklyn Brewery, and that was like the first time I had like a fresh East Coast IPA. And as much of that IPA taste that still gets like that translates over, it was completely different taste. I was, it's always fun. I think Brooklyn Brewery is one of the largest breweries on the East Coast, at least in New York. Um, and it was just a fun experience, a little bit different. That was one thing that I did enjoy before, the shutdowns and everything was going to some of the breweries and stuff. I have some pretty cool breweries around here. I just haven't decided to go hang out with, you know, a bunch of people. Okay, rice. Let's take a look at this real quick. Let's do. I think because I have the combo on this setup here. So generally, what you'll do is just kind of fluff up your rice. So use a fork. This wild rice has a little bit more of a different texture. It's a lot more firm, but I'm still gonna mix it up. Get those mushrooms kind of just in every little bite. Now this is done already. It's just on warm, so it's just keeping it warm. It does seem to be a little bit more moist, so I'm going to keep that lid on there just a little bit. It's a little bit still firm. Not that firm. All right. Every time I wash my hands, it reminds me of on the episode of Rocko's Modern Life. I think the frog's name or the tortoise name is Filbert. It's like he like licks his hands, turns the page, licks his hand, turns the page, or washes his hand, whatever. But it's like sometimes when I'm working on all this stuff, I always like I don't know. I just don't like my hands feeling too meaty or gross half the time. Look, I'm not trying to convince you guys that I wash my hands or myself. Like compulsive washer. Okay. You want to be a non-compulsive washer? So I think what's fun for me is like when I was doing the stream last time and I put on, I had a couple people who were like, "Oh man, how do I like get into your ear and be one of the people talking?" I was like, "Well, you just gotta be on Discord." And like those the same people are have the Discord channel, but I think it's kind of funny because like I remember watching it back and I was responding to people and like you can't tell. It just looks like I'm just a crazy person. But I mean, you got to be a little bit crazy to pretty much Yeah, my Patreon. Yeah, just it's for beer. Patreon's for beer and ingredients. Okay. Hey, lots of people have different Patreons for everything, and I dig it. I mean, if you're gonna put in the work and you want that to fund whatever it is you do, cool. We're getting pretty close down to the end now, but we're not done. So the salmon's gonna sit out for a minute. We have this cast iron pan that we're gonna use. I love it. It's the easiest thing. You can see the bottom's a little bit rough. Um, I really only season the inside. I don't do much else with anything other than the inside. But that's my favorite thing to cook on. I do wash it in a way that would trigger most people. I do use soap and a sponge, but I usually dry it out fairly quickly and then add oil and then heat that up so that way it still creates a nice little layer. Sometimes it gets really nice where I can actually just cook some over easy eggs on it without it sticking. But that involves a little bit more work in doing a real seasoning. Okay, let me switch back so that way you guys don't miss out on anything else. So we're gonna do here. All right. What I like to do here is just I'll put a little bit of salt over the top of this. Some of this is gonna get washed once we do our butter marinade. That's right, you heard me. Butter marinade. Um, Man, I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I'm not too sure here. It could just be the fact that you know we're an hour in and none of us are eating this salmon. Okay, let's let's do it like this. So that's about 5 tablespoons of butter. That's more butter than anyone needs to consume, but again, this is just part of the marinade. So it's going to go in the pan. It's going to heat up, and we're going to spoon that over the fillets. Inside that same pan, we're going to throw some rosemary and some thyme. That's going to flavor that butter up. So let's switch back over to that view over here. Okay, we're going to toss that in there. And again, you would never just eat this much butter. Like, don't mix this into your rice. It's just going to taste nothing but like butter, and that's not what people want. Fish is already somewhat buttery and just juicy, but this just adds flavor to the outside. Okay. All right. Let's let that melt a bit. Um, we want the garlic over here as well. We're going to move that off to the side. I think it's about time for another bottled apple juice. Yeah, Goose Island bottled apple juice. Don't look in this drawer. It's a mess. Oh, you guys can't see it anyways. Look, I'll just show you guys. Maybe. No, you can't. Don't clip that. My feet are in there. I know Cat Will's over there. Kyle is going to be looking at that later. You weirdo. Settle down, he says. Okay. Look. You want to see a decent pour? Look at this. So good. How cocky can I be on my own stream? As cocky as I want, right? It's for you guys and me, really. Okay, so we're um, starting to get this to melt here. We want to throw all this garlic in there. We just want to soak the rosemary and the thyme It's basically, we're making like an infused butter, but just not really. Stir this in there. Hear a little bit of the pops, the cracks. Okay, we're gonna take this down to a medium heat. Clean up a little bit of our mess. And here comes the fillets. Skin side down. Actually, we're just gonna give this a quick little braise just on the bottom here. Okay. I had set some tongs out for myself. I don't know where to put them. Here they are. Okay. That's plenty. Let me see if I can adjust this camera angle just slightly. I don't know what happened here. Now, I probably could have gotten away with probably uh, 3 tablespoons of butter. There's just so much excess in here. Some of that is going to be a little bit of the fat from the fish, but Atlantic salmon is pretty fatty as it is. Okay, we're going to let this sit over that for a bit. I'm going to clean up over here for a brief minute on the other side. No need for any other oils or anything else like that. It's already, that butter's plenty enough fat. The skin's going to crisp up on the bottom if you do like eating the skin. But like I was saying earlier, it's probably just going to fall apart or fall away. Mm. Oh yeah. Basting this baby like a turkey or like salmon, but and then from here, I wouldn't like, once I serve this with my rice and everything, I'm not adding any soy sauce, anything else to it. Like, this has got plenty of flavor. I mean, we have the garlic in here, the butter, the rosemary, the thyme, and we're just basting. Oh, look, I want to show you something real quick, Craft Hero. See that? New headband. Yeah, whole get up here today. No thermometer in here, so I don't look, I guess, that professional. But we don't need it for the salmon. I've cooked salmon plenty long enough that I can tell what's happening with it. Although if you go by USDA standards, 145 degrees Fahrenheit is good. You can go higher than that. That's plenty fine. 150. It's like 165 for ground chicken and ground meats, but for I was gonna say poultry, but for for fish, you can do this at 145, and it'll still be nice and moist inside, and it's not gonna just be dry fish. I've had dry fish before, and it ruins the entire experience. I mean, fish should be nice and moist when you're eating it. And salmon tends to stay fairly moist the all the way through, only because of how much fat there is on it. And I'm more like Atlantic king salmon. Sockeye salmon tends to be a lot leaner, although there's still a decent amount of fat on it. It'd be fun is to do some halibut. We used to get in the store. We used to get these huge uh, monster halibuts. I mean, huge to me in the retail sense. I mean, we'd be looking at these halibuts that were like just monster, 5 feet across, 4 to 5 feet across, and then we'd be cutting them down. And there was nothing like that, just that wonderful, fresh halibut. At the time, our store manager would let us do in-store pop-ups, so we would do fish tacos. We would do some fun stuff, and that was always fun to work in that place where it's like not only was I a fishmonger, but I also got to do a little bit of a kitchen stuff. Yeah, we would do a bunch of fun stuff. I mean, I think that was the fun thing about working at Whole Foods is the the stuff that we prepared was always fresh, right? It wasn't something that we just reused from the previous day. Um, every day we're making salmon burgers, we're making crab cakes, uh, things that we're marinating. Like some places will take their day old fish and just marinate it, but I mean, if we did purchasing pretty well, so it was like all of our orders came in at a specific time, so we knew what was selling, and then we got to marinate stuff fresh, so that way you weren't marinating your day old salmon. And day old salmon, day old tilapia, whatever that you're in the right conditions, it's fine. I mean, you're gonna go home and you're gonna have another 3 days with it. I always suggest if you're gonna buy salmon, you cook it that day or you freeze it if you're not gonna, or any seafood if you're not gonna use it. As long as if it's already been previously frozen, you're gonna want to eat it as soon as possible, as soon as you thaw it out. It's just freezing it, then thawing it, and then freezing it again. Texture changes, taste, and then if you leave it out too long, it's just gonna grow tons of bacteria. And that's where people get super sick. Cool. So that's doing well. I'm getting ready to show you guys what the potatoes and Brussels sprouts are looking like. I just need to make sure I don't burn down the computer over here. Let me adjust a couple things. Oh, yeah, yeah. That's looking real tasty. So we got a nice golden color over a lot of the stuff. So the Brussels sprouts, the potatoes, and like I said, I like them when they're still a little bit creamy. And we'll see this one real quick. That is ridiculously hot. I knew it was going to be coming out of the oven, but 2 more minutes. Okay. They do call me Garlic Daddy, by the way. Everywhere I go. Yeah, you can smell the garlic on me. They say, "Oh, who is that? Garlic Daddy?" I don't believe these comments that people are putting on here. I mean, because there's no monetary value attached to them. Um, when people say those things, they usually donate to like XQC and all these other people. So I don't know if I trust these comments. Oh, go ahead and look in the um, not the comment sections, but the description. You'll see a little something there. All right. I don't actually know if there's any. It's a. I think it automatically does that with Streamlabs unless I attach to my my PayPal. But you guys looking at that now? Yeah, support the stream. Don't worry about it. Look, this is it's not time for donations yet. Okay, you wait till we get to Turduncan season, then we'll take in some donations. Uh, but I know those comments from earlier weren't too true. Tokyo Corp Unlimited. I'm gonna start calling you guys the Tokyo Misfits. That's what my subscribers are, Tokyo Misfits. Look, Troy's giving me all his money. Also, I'll put up my wallet. I'll put my crypto wallet up there, so that way you guys can donate some quant if you want, or some. You got some super awesome NFTs. You can just toss those my way. Some mushroom coin. I definitely take GME. So if you guys want to toss me some GME, don't worry about AMC. I don't want any of that. Okay. Uh, this salmon's done. It's going to be. I turned the heat off already, so heat's off on this. We're going to let that residual heat just keep going. Uh, I would assume that on the inside it's still just the slightest bit of. I'm not going to say like a pink color, but it's definitely more of like a translucent color to it. Whereas like if you take a look at this, you see the outside; it's a little bit more pale. If we open up the inside, you're going to see it's going to look a lot more like not like how it was raw sitting on the table, but a little bit more of a just it's just not there yet. Let's just say that. So I'm gonna do a little bit of cleanup on this other side here. We're making good time. I'm gonna try to make sure that these streams don't go over too long. I think an hour and a half is just kind of pushing it. But I can say everything I need to in that amount of time, so that's good. Um, and put in the comments too if there's anything that you guys want to see me cook in my rendition. Put in there. I might not cook it because I don't care, but if I think it's fun, maybe I'll do it. I had a comment saying that ramen would be a fun one to cook, so I think I'll probably do that at some point. Giant squid, I got you. All right, I'm gonna cook a squid dish. It might not be giant squid, but tea eggs. Okay, so tea eggs for the ramen. I've seen it done a number of ways, but my favorite is just that soft boil with the marinade. Well, I'll save it for the stream. I'll save it for the stream, but that'll probably be one that I'll have to do ahead of time, and then I'll also show you while I'm doing it what it looks like. You missed this earlier when you weren't here in the beginning of my stream, but this here is one of the best salts ever. See if I can turn this light around real quick. See how that just glistens? Look at that. Maldons. That's what you want, the Maldons. All right, I'm just going to clean off this little table because we're going to get ready to plate stuff here in a second. we're gonna get some pictures on this too, so it looks professional. And I'll post them in the Discord later, so you guys get a chance to take a look at it. All right. Okay, so also just a little recap. So we did a wild rice with a mushroom in here as a mixture. Smell, oh my gosh, this smells so good. I want a smaller cup. I'll show you what I'm doing in a minute. This is just for trying to make it look cool, because that's what this is all for. It's just for the money shot, you know. Everything for the money shot. I may not have what I'm looking for. Okay, give me a minute here. Same thing, mozzarella. Okay, I have to use this. Dude, dollar signs in the chat if you can smell this through the TV, your screen. Woo-hoo-hoo! There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm getting ready for the plating here. All right, if you can hear that beeping in the background, that's probably the fridge not closed all the way. Okay, do that. And I said we were done with the mushrooms earlier, but this is just for a little bit of garnish here. And let's take one of these. So the skin will come off quite easily now. But like I said, I think because I have this so well seasoned, and I mean just tons of butter in there, it's not going to stick to that pan. All right, we have that. I don't know, maybe it doesn't need all that much garnish. We'll do that. And oh, let's get these super crusty Brussels sprouts out. Some potatoes to finish it off. Now, this plate that I'm plating here is more than enough for 2 people, so I'm actually going to just do this for the picture, and then I'll split it up for, besides the filet, I'm going to eat this whole fucking filet for myself, but like all that rice is not needed, all those potatoes. I mean, look, I'm a fatty who hasn't been working out lately, so I mean, I definitely could do a little bit of a calorie deficit here. But for my friends over there that I'm gonna make you guys seconds, thirds, fourths. Oh man, I would love to make you guys a nice salmon dish like this and just get you a just something wonderful going. I would drone these to you guys, but Jeff Bezos has got a. Oh, you better believe you're getting some of that delicious bottled apple juice. All right, let me go ahead and switch this over real quick. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a zoom in here. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say what my bottled apple juice is on stream, but I think you guys know what's up. Yeah, dude, we don't want any of that background blur. Sorry, I don't know what's going on real quick here. Uh, yeah, perfect. Okay, so here's our meal, guys. Uh, what I'd like to say is just thank you all for joining my stream. It was definitely fun, and I hope I can do some fun, other fun, delicious meals. I'm just going to go over this real quick, just what we did. So we took this wild rice here. We cut up some mushrooms, some baby bells, or yeah, I think that's some baby bellas. A nice medley of potatoes, some Brussels sprouts. Cut those in half. Those are real nice. Season them up with a little bit of garlic, some olive oil, rosemary, thyme, um, and then with the salmon, we did a nice butter marinade, so it cooked in the cast iron. What we did there was throw again that same little mixture of butter, garlic, and rosemary, and just kind of let that baste over it. All in all, this took us from start to finish. I mean, I did a little bit of prep work beforehand, just washing some of the vegetables. About an hour and a half. I mean, we're looking at 127 right now. Um, not a whole lot that's needed. I think the rice cooker, um, the skillet, and the baking pan. So we really did just use three items to cook this whole dish. Um, yeah, the rice cooker, always a time saver. You just set that there and you let it do its thing. So again, thank you all very much. I'm just going to take a little bit of this finishing salt and just throw this over everything. The maldon. Dude, I don't salt bay shit. That's actually I do want to go to his restaurant. I heard they have some amazing food. Um, Sans like the gold leaf shit on my food. I don't want gold leaf on my food. It's not something that I feel like I would enjoy or I think would taste good. Sorry, I'm looking for my apple juice. Oh, look, I want to show you guys this. Look at this wonderful little plant that we have over here. It's just our little kitchen plant. Yeah. Got the top camera in the way, so sorry about that. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining in. And tons of money. Thanks for all the donations. Uh, giant squid is what I got for the next thing. Giant squid. We wanted just roasted garlic, tea eggs, and ramen. We might be able to get all that into one dish, actually. That'd be fun. Um, so keep an eye out.